Hello and welcome to Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Today on Face to Face, we are looking at the interface between a party in office, or as in a party in government. How do you deal with satisfying your base and also dealing with the policies of state, which is what you have committed to the nation, i.e., we have an NDC government in office, but President Mahama is president for Ghana. How does the NDC as a party benefit? And how does he implement the policies of the NDC, which is a party that brought him to office, without squams and problems? That is what we are looking at today on Face to Face. And my guest is better placed to help understand and answer these questions because he is both an officer of the party and an officer of the government. Stay with us. I'll introduce him when I come back. My guest is Mustapha Gbande. He is Deputy General Secretary of the NDC in charge of operations, which means he's at Adabraka, but he's also at Kanda, where the Jubilee House is, as a Deputy Director of Operations at the Jubilee House or at the government, at the seat of government. He's my guest. You're welcome to Face to Face.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
I'm good.
Everything fine?
Very, very good. You're looking handsome.
Thank you so much.
It means our government is good.
Oh. What's the connection? I bought this suit under Akufo-Addo government.
You are a real example and manifestation of the good governance.
No. It has not touched me yet. It has not touched. I mean, it has touched me at the fuel station. Kudos for that. But you know, I just came back from the US. I got a few dollars when I came home. I'm not able to change them. You people are wicked, bro.
It's good for the local.
Now the dollar is hiding in my. I want to change and get more CDs, but the thing is not working. Please tell Ato Forson to stop that.
The only reason the dollar was high was because of President Akufo-Addo's foreign assent.
How?
And President Mahama is a local assent. So his priority is the Ghanaian.
Mustapha, stop that thing.
It's true. Nanado was using French accent everywhere, speaking big English, but there was nothing under it. So dollar was high.
Okay, I didn't see this one. I didn't know that you're going to start jabbing Akufo-Addo. Why do you like jabbing him like that? Why?
It was a reality. It's fact.
What's your problem with the former president?
Nanado was speaking foreign accent. He's never been able to use.
But Ghanaians gave him a vote and whipped you out of office with 1 million votes with all the foreign.
Ghanaians wanted us to go back and prepare and come back strongly.
No, Ghanaians wanted to show you that you were incompetent and they removed you by 1 million extra votes.
Ghanaians have shown that we are competent. That's why MPP got 37%.
Is it 37? It's more than that.
37. The rest was an afterthought rigging. When we have all gone to sleep and then they are manipulating the figures with Jen Mensa just to give credit to their defeat.
That's a criminal.
Of course, that's why we agree that.
How come you're not reported to the police?
Oh, a number of times the EC is being at the police under investigation. You are aware of how.
Have you reported to the police for engaging in this criminality?
Recklessly, they have handled election materials.
No,
you are aware?
No, Mustapha. On the specific allegations you've just made, have you reported to the police?
We have not done that, but we believe we've won the election by MPP getting 37%. The rest is an afterthought. Because
where's that coalition that you have done? So what percentage?
We have our figure. We know that the MPP got 37%.
And President Mahama got what?
He got what he got. Redact the difference.
Which
one? You know it and I know it.
No, you tell me. You're the one claiming.
What were the figures that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia conceived the night after election and claiming that he knew that the NDC have won? Even their own systems showed that they got 37%. Abysmally and have never happened in this country before.
What did your system
no
show?
Political party, we got more than 53%.
53%?
Yes.
But 37 out of 100% should not be 53, you know that?
It is what? Other political parties got some.
Oh, no, what did they get?
They got some.
All of them put together was not up to 1%.
And I'm just saying that MPP...
Mustapha, you see, you're making a claim without any facts. If you are saying to me that you won the election by so much, you should be able to give me that percentage. But if you're not able to give me that percentage, then you have to agree with the official figure as released by the EC.
My focus is on the MPP, and I'm saying that they are the ones shifting goalposts.
They have not shifted. They considered defeat.
37%. On another breath, they are quoting different. And I'm saying that
they haven't said
the
they
day
got 37%.
of declaration.
You're the one claiming that.
On the day of declaration.
Yes.
You know, right from the time that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia made that preconceived defeat needless, because if you've lost election, you wait for the Electoral Commission to declare. He made himself the Electoral Commission to come and declare a defeat for himself. He got 37%.
Is that the first time we are seeing a losing candidate call the opposition, the winning, and say that I have lost and I've conceded?
Well, it's not. Concession is not when you come and pronounce that you have been defeated. Concession is when a figure is declared, you disagree, but you concede.
No, that's not what concession is. Concession
was, you know, a self-inflicted, and they are saying that, oh, because they believe that without him conceding, the country nothing was going to happen in the country. Nothing was happening. The temperature was absolutely normal. Everybody was happy that the MPP have lost.
So you do not think it was right for him to have conceded?
I think that it was dangerous.
Why?
Because he created an impression that
he has lost.
He has lost.
And
he should have waited to. By law, he is not the one to declare an election.
Are you serious right now? That
yes.
If I'm losing an election, I cannot say I've lost.
You see,
I've
it's
given
sloganeer, populism. When you rush to do what you have not been sanctioned to do, or what you needed not to have done, and you want to receive praise out of it, we shouldn't be applauding that. You've gone for an election. The Electoral Commission should be allowed to do its work. We shouldn't create an impression as if candidates don't go and make concessions, the country becomes ungovernable. Right? So it means that if a candidate refused to concede, then we have a situation at hand. There was nothing. He should have just waited for the Electoral Commission to do its work. That is what it is. CI 127.
We'll talk about the Electoral Commission, we'll talk about elections, we'll talk about the NPP. But first, let's talk about the NDC. What's the state of your party currently?
I think that we are going through a challenge of aligning with government. And it's quite difficult and challenging, because when you become a government, the renditions are quite different from when you are a party and your leader is a leader of a political party. Today, the leader is a president, and the definitions, the characteristics, the manifestations are quite different. And also, because there have been types of government, and type of government because I'm taking it from the definition of election results. If you had gone to an election where there's a runoff, the implications and manifestations are quite different from this one, where there was an overwhelming, unimaginable defeat. All right? Clearly what it shows, what it means is that if you put on a normal day NDC, MPP together, one political party should get between 52-53%. But to have gone that much, all right, that higher percentage, what it means is that there's an overwhelming endorsement, both by your party people, 2, floating voters, 3, even members of the opposing political parties, which can be defined from apathy and also people, converted voters who have or protest voters who have voted against their own political party. And we have benefited that because we've had people from even the MPP believing that their government have done too many wrongs against the people of Ghana, they ought to be punished. They believe that their party, their government was not being run on the party principle, traditional party principles, even though we have always felt that the MPP's tradition is a problem for this country, but they themselves have realized that it's become much more problematic, and so they needed to vote against it. If you look at Ashanti region, where they got most of their votes.
I want to know about NDC. That's what I'm asking.
Yes, I'll tell you. Mm-hmm. There is a place where a Jusuba election, the only legacy of the MPP there was for MPP executives to go sharing India and we. For voters in the by-election, it was all over the place. You saw it. That is a remarkable insult to your stronghold.
Mustapha.
I'll come to that. When we go
who was sharing with?
The people said it themselves. Your sister stations reported.
Who did they say?
They said MPP executives.
Which one?
I don't want to.
Regional or national executive?
National executive. They said government as MPP executives.
Give them weed.
came to share we for them at their bases instead of providing
exactly?
jobs. They didn't mention the name.
And you are repeating this
And
unfounded allegation.
No, but they have not, MPP have not refuted it.
The fact that I have said that you are a rapist and you haven't come to refuse, it doesn't make you a rapist.
Well, if I was much bothered on the implications of somebody calling me a rapist, I'll respond. And so that was clearly what the MPP, and I'm saying that they've been in power for 8 years, never constructed a single factory in Ashanti region. In fact, Nanado is an Akan, and Akans are the ones who vote for MPP more, unlike this 2024 election. Their traditional occupation is cocoa farming. The cocoa sector collapsed under Nanado, not as a result of incompetence, but prioritized corruption.
Mustapha Gbande,
okay.
What is the state of the National Democratic Congress?
So we are going through that system where we have to carry all these expectations alongside marrying that with our party people and settling as a government. And so the party is going through that challenge. We, at our front, is a very solid party. We don't have divisions within. I mean, everybody believes that we're in government. Our commitment across board is to help the president to succeed. And so that generally is across board. There's no disunity within us now.
There are no camps?
There are no camps to the extent that disintegrates the party's front. I think that our national chairman and general secretary are still fully in charge. The president still remains where he is and has full control of the party. And for me, that shows the strength of the party.
There's a view that what the APP is going through now is going to be, I mean, an easier task than what you are going to go through as a party, and that when it gets to the contest, because you are in power, it's going to be deadlier and scarier than we are seeing now.
We are not going
and
to allow...
And that the camps in your party would create deep cracks within your party.
I think I'm a deputy general secretary, and we have been put in place to manage the party. We are not going to allow individual ambitions, to the extent that it hasn't crystallized into party ambition yet, to disintegrate our party. No, we are not.
It happened in the past.
No, I mean, times have come to pass. We are fully in charge of this party. The grassroots, the party at the base doesn't believe that we should allow people's ambitions to undermine the collective stance of the party. And so we'll do everything possible to leverage the party and also ensure that, whereas it is to the advantage of the credit of the party to see much more people who are ambitious come up, willing and desirous to get bigger opportunities and grow bigger, that ambition must be managed in such a way that it doesn't undermine our party.
Is your party tacitly supporting the claim that there's an intention for President Mahama to run for a third term?
If there was a way, I would support President Mahama to continue.
Is there a way?
If it's not against the law.
Is it based on your understanding of
the law?
Based
on my understanding. I haven't even done assessment of that, because I believe that, and President Mahama himself have always said it, Ghanaians should hold our government highly responsible by all standards, and that 2028 or any subsequent election should be a credit of good governance and responsible governance.
Okay.
And that if for any reason we decide, or our appointees decide to behave the way President Akufo-Addo's appointees should behave, we have no business being in power. And so our commitment is to make sure that, first, President Mahama succeeds as president. Two, we make sure that we leave a legacy that is in the good memories of the people of Ghana. Poverty, joblessness is a national security matter that we must deal with. And we must not deal with a knee-jerk reactionary approach.
Is there any plan for President Mahama to go again as flag bearer of your party?
That plan will come from President Mahama. But
as a party, you are not planning that?
Whatever the president, he's a leader of our party. Whatever leadership says, we will go in and we will support, if it sits well with the people of Ghana. But I'm saying that I work with the president now. I have not sensed any focus on what is 2028 or what is tomorrow's election. Day in, day out, the president have been busy being committed to navigating our country through the complex path of resetting, because we all know fundamentally that the 8 years of President Akufo-Addo and his ills underreact. They have underreacted, and it's so legitimate. But you must also understand where the president finds himself. And I've spoken about type of government. When your support, if we had won 53% or 52%, then we could say that it's basically, we got it from the NDC, college and few floating voters. The overwhelming votes shows that there's quite a larger group of Ghanaians who believed in the vision. And so President Mahama will be a mean president if he prioritizes only his children, NDC people. He needs to demonstrate a Ghanaian government where we promise the people of Ghana to create a platform for every Ghanaian to prosper and to flourish. And so navigating this complexity, he will take some decisions that are very unpopular, that will hurt our feelings. I personally believe that it is one of a decision that as a party person, it shouldn't have been taken. I personally believe that we can help the young lady if we have to help, because we continue to do a lot of political repairs. Aftermath of 2020 December election, we repair a lot of things, including discussions that cannot be had outside. At the level of leadership, there are conversations that have happened that we cannot know as grassroots. But when it hits on us and hits on party people, it is within their right to react and to, express their displeasure.
So it means you've been seeing the posts by your party members who are complaining and lamenting.
I know my party people loves me a lot, the grassroots particularly, because my constituency is the grassroots. But in the last 2 months or 3 months, I have been at their displeasure because I have been the face as far as grassroots politicking is concerned, and they think that we support some of the decisions that have been taken against party people. For example, appointing persons who are not closer to the party. Appoint this lady, for example, is one issue that they are attacking us left, right, and center. And I think our party people are right in their reaction.
You agree with them?
I agree with them. But I also, as where I sit, if they were sitting here and experiencing what the president is about to do for this country, they will not react. So it's a matter of communication.
You are
gap.
the Jubilee House. This is where you work from.
Yeah.
If you stepped out of your office now and you met the president in the corridor,
yeah.
On this specific topic, what would you say to him?
I've already done that. I've told my bosses that it wasn't a good decision, but explanations have been offered, and I think that it's a good explanation. So we now have a responsibility to let our party people understand. It's unfortunate that we have to explain in this. So
you have told the authorities or your officials here that you don't think that it's proper to have appointed a lady?
Everybody knows me in this party.
Is he opposing that she shouldn't have been appointed at all, or not to be brought to the Jubilee House?
Whatever it is, she's a new member of the party now. We still have quite a lot more members who are expecting of some sort of recognition or some sort of benefit from the election, even though I believe that it's quite premature for everybody to think that we can all be satisfied at the same time, and I'll explain that.
So is your view that satisfy the party base before you satisfy people like this lady?
That is not my view. My view is that we must balance the equation and believe in the president's vision, support every decision the presidents take. But party people also reserve the right to vent. So
now that she's here, what would you say to your party members who are angry and aggrieved, who feel betrayed, and they are being mocked by their opponents?
They are not being mocked.
They are being mocked. They are being told that, you work for nothing.
They are not being mocked.
They don't have connections. And so
every
because of that, they are
single NDC member is better off today than an MPP member.
How?
They may be hungry. Food is not on the table yet. Money is not in the pocket yet. But you would agree with me that what President Mahama have done and what he started is a novelty in this country.
Should the lady be sacked from Jubilee House?
If I have the opportunity, I'll reassign her.
To a different place?
Yes. But again, I stand in solidarity with the visions of our leader.
Are you not having a difficulty trying to serve two masters? You are serving your party foot soldiers and also serving the president. You have to be
intelligent to be in the situation I find myself, and you have to be guided by wisdom. But my principles have always been that what I disagree, I'll speak against it. It doesn't matter who is involved.
Are you not worried that by this your public disagreement with the decision, you may lose your job at the presidency?
The president can sack anybody at any time, and I'm not different. And I'm saying that if opinions are reasons that I'll be sacked, then I'm a very happy man. And I don't think the president will come to that level. He's bigger than that. He doesn't like sycophants. The president, I've always known that I speak my mind, but the president likes me for that. And I'm saying that our party people are always right. Even if they are wrong, that is their party. It is our duty to explain to them. And so in the last 2 nights, I have been engaging through social media, Facebook, explaining on phone to our party people to understand why some of these things, unpopular decisions, would happen. The president didn't win to take very popular decisions that resonate with only party people. Look, President Akufo-Addo have starved this country and destroyed even his own party members that a new government have to repair. And so when you are repairing these people, you will incur the wrath of your party. It will happen.
Okay.
But you would be repairing a country. You know, so it's our duty as party managers to bridge the gap between the understanding of our party people and the vision of the president. I think that from where I sit, the president have done a novelty because 2008 at this time, we're now collating CVs. We're now forming the Alhaji Idris Mahama Popular Appointment Committee. No appointments were done.
2009, you mean?
2009. Subsequently, when President Mills died and President Mahama took over, we went to election in 2012, I think. In 2013, when we were setting up government, by this time, appointment committee was still looking at appointments, even though at the time, President Mahama did appointments relying partly on the appointment committee and also by his own notebooks. Nanadu himself, President Nanadu, former president, by this time, he was now mentioning names of ministers, and you remember putting their profiles out and all of that. A government was not formed. Today, as we speak, the tragedy is that because of the level of responsibility and expectation, we have been looked at as a government that have been in power for almost 2 years, but we're just 6 months in power.
What's the percentage of the formation of the government so far?
So far, I think we are still filling in the places. Boards have not been totally formed. Ambassadors have not taken over. The first batch have been appointed. Even ministers, we haven't finished appointing ministers.
You still have 4 that you are waiting
We still have 4.
Is that you've forgotten?
No. We still have.
You can't choose 4 out of the lot.
We can. I'm saying that the president has a reason for doing everything.
Quick question. Is the president, does he listen to the party?
What do you mean?
Does President John Dramani Mahama listen to the NDC?
I'm here as a Deputy General Secretary.
He listens to you.
I'm saying that I'm just a step away from the president's office. I'm sitting here as a Deputy General Secretary. I was brought here by party leadership to liaise between the party and government.
And is that liaise?
This appointment itself is a novelty. They've never put a party executive to be in charge of operation or be at the presidency per se. In the past, you have 2, 3 national executives being appointed into central government. Okay. Today, 80% of NDC's national executive officers have been appointed into central government. Regional executives have been appointed into central government. All our regional secretaries are almost ministers, except 2 secretaries. Our regional ministers. So the vision...
So there's a marriage between the government and the party.
The intention of the president is to lay the government closer to the party by appointing a party person.
Let me take a break. This is Face to Face on Channel 1 Television. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. My guest is the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustapha Gbande. We'll take a break. When we come back, the electoral issues that are upcoming, the by-election in Ablekuma North is something we'll talk about. Plus, how are they going to satisfy the party youth? Is the YEA going to be the solution? Is it the Ministry of Youth Development and so on? Please stay with us.
Imagine waking up to serenity every day, surrounded by nature's beauty and luxury at your fingertips in a gated estate you can be proud to call your home. Welcome to Western Villas, located at Ayi Mensa, where our stunning homes redefine elegance. At Western Villas, each home is a masterpiece, designed with precision and love. From swimming pool, gym, playground, beautiful landscaped gardens and private balconies, making every day feel like a retreat. We also have executive plots for sale at McCarthy Hill, strategically located and offer unparalleled views, easy access to amenities, and endless possibilities for executive living. With just 5% deposit, you can reserve your space. Contact us today to learn more about our luxury homes at Ayi Mensa or executive plots at McCarthy Hill. Call us now on 0536 502295 or visit www.westernvillas.com for more information.
You're welcome back face to face on Channel 1 Television with Umaru Sanda Amadu. My guest is Mustapha Gbande. Mustapha, you have created, there's already YEA, which was created by John Kufuor long ago. You also have the Youth Entrepreneur Support, which has changed to NIP now. It was created by John Mahama. But you have a Ministry for Youth Development. All of these ones, are they not bureaucracies? Can they really create jobs? There's NSS, but can they really create jobs for your party people who are hungry after 8 years of opposition?
I think that, Umaru, the jobs are being created already, because today, the business environment within 6-7 months of our government are not boasting of fat checks, but their business is intact. Okay? It's better than collapsing of companies that we experienced in the last 8 years. Today, NYEP, where Malik Basintale is, a very young man, the youngest NYEP coordinator, you are almost thinking whether it is NYEP that you knew, because it was a dead place. Today, Malik is.
How was it dead? Kofi Japan was doing a beautiful job.
What was he doing?
He was organizing job fairs and things.
Job fairs doesn't provide jobs. So
he was providing jobs for the people. He created a portal, he was giving them jobs and all of this.
How many people did they employ?
I don't know. I don't have the records.
But I have had to tell you that physically within 6 months, Malik is partnering with all sort of organizations to create jobs, and those jobs are visible. The last time I checked in my farm, I didn't have farm workers because the report is that all of them said that they are going, youth employment is giving jobs.
Yeah, Mustapha.
I'm being honest with you.
Where is your farm?
I have a farm in Akosombo.
What farm do you, what way farm?
I do pottery.
We should go and check.
You can come.
Your workers have left.
I will invite you.
That they are going to work for YEA?
Yes.
How many?
That jobs were being provided by YEA.
But the YEA money is not plenty.
It is for a young man, he's eager to get a government job.
Yeah, but you should have explained to them that no, the agri sector
I didn't meet them.
So by the time when they had...
But I'm happy.
How many families?
I am even happy that the youth's expectation is in government. They have hope that government is the lifeline of their dead hopes after 8 years. Today, as we speak, we are constrained because the government is not totally formed.
Let me make this announcement. Dear NDC members in the Sojaman constituency, there are vacancies on Mustapha Gbande's farm in Akosombo. Kindly go and look for a job there. Now let's continue.
Yes. So a government is not fully formed, but so after appointing the top hierarchy, after appointing traditional party people, known party faces to various roles, these people are now being controlled by laws, statutes, organizational laws. So they must go through that to also create opportunities that will reach the party base. So for example, a CEO who have assumed office in the last 4 months and have been doing review of things that have transpired. Because don't forget that we've left this country as a syndicate. This country has been victimized by political, irresponsibility. So they are doing reviews, some are doing auditing, right? They can't come out and speak about this. If I need appointment in that entity, the CEO can do nothing until a board is constituted and that board gives approval for appointment. So that tension will be there, which is legitimate. But as time goes on, all these tensions will phase out because organization would have started recruiting. and our party people will get there. Initiatives would have come and they would have been enrolled. And so it's not as if the government doesn't have a commitment to satisfy our party people. This government is a government for our party people.
Can you satisfy them?
Obviously, you can't satisfy everybody in one row, but there are various ways that you satisfy people in government, including the person who is in need.
Including sacking MPP people who are already at post and putting your people there.
We didn't sack MPP people who are post.
At GRA, at plenty other places.
I advocate for any public officer who, have been politically exposed. You are not fit to be there. If we believe that
because you are not Ghanaian enough.
If we believe that there was corruption, and I'm a finance student, corruption doesn't happen with a minister, one minister. It happens with the chief director. It happens with the director of finance. It happens with procurement. So these three people should not be there if we have to really set the place up. But leniently, we have not done that. Only political appointments have been replaced so far that I know. You recall the current reverses at the Bank of Ghana?
Yeah, because apparently I've seen MP people write that you people went to touch the wrong meat and you had to shamelessly reverse the sackings at BOG.
Again.
Otherwise, why would you sack and reverse the sacking?
No. Again, I wasn't at Bank of Ghana, but I did heard from the governor that it was the people inability to impress the probation after the probation period.
So why do you bring them back if they were not able to impress the probation?
We should be meeting the governor of Bank of Ghana to explain.
But you are a member of government.
He says he has reinstated them.
Yeah, you should explain. You should be able to explain.
If the reinstatement is not enough to satisfy and to explain the issues, I think he should be in the position to answer. But I do believe that anybody who says NDC have sacked MPP people is lying. Because the way some of us wanted the president to go, he didn't go that route. Because we definitely believe that we should clean up this country.
You wanted more people fired?
If you give me the opportunity, a lot of people have to go. But the president
people who are working as civil servants?
The president is a statesman. Me, I'm not a statesman. I'm a party executive. My party means a lot. And our party members are Ghanaians. They are not Togolese. So if NDC people too are working at places, they are Ghanaians, they will serve the public.
As NDC, are you looking across the lawn to see what's happening in the NPP? Are you interested in what's going to happen, who is running, who is going to win? Are you interested?
We are closely monitoring and reviewing developments in the
Would
NPP.
that inform who you choose as flag bearer?
Not at all.
Why not?
Not at all. Our performance will inform who we choose as a flag bearer. And I do say that, look, we are not going to win the election on a silver platter, but it will be a silver platter when our work can speak for itself. And to be honest with you, I think I'm very happy now what we have been able to do in the last 6 months. This government is trying to bridge the gaps between all sections of our society, creating a platform for all Ghanaians to grow. That is why you see the kind of rebellion you see in our party. They insult us every day, but we keep explaining to them because we are building a country. Our people may not be happy. We will find a way to make them happy, but the president is determined.
Which of the MPP people who is running for flag bearer would you be scared of as a party to win? Who would you not want to win?
You know, I think that Nana Addo have left a very bad legacy for old age.
Who among the candidates at the MPP we are seeing as interested persons would the NDC be afraid of to be flag bearer?
We are not afraid of the MPP. I think that the 2028 election will be premised on hard work.
You're not afraid of Dr. Bawumia?
For what?
He gave you a run for your money last time.
Not a single day. I think that Nana Addo have left a very bad legacy for old age because of his type, his mates he has surrounded himself, appointed them into government, who bled this country. The people who defrauded this country more are the old ones. If you look at Afriya Koto, over 60 years, 70 years.
How did he defraud the nation?
They've mismanaged the agric ministry.
No, but you see,
if you look at
when you use words like defraud, you are a student of law. You know defraud.
When you say you are doing planting for food and job, you go to ECOWAS and you borrow food and you couldn't even pay. And you have told all Ghanaians who spent money.
Yeah, but if you say defraud, then you are going under Act 29, you should go to court, prosecute him. But you haven't done that.
But that's why they arrested.
To the extent that you have not.
No, most of them have been arrested.
It's a free Akoto being arrested.
He will be. If he has not, he will be.
When?
I'll check. Most of them are going to be an every day on the quiet.
Really?
Yes. And
but it doesn't mean he has defrauded.
I know
it's an allegation.
I know that they have chopped money there.
Okay, that's your claim.
Yes, so I'm saying that...
Without any evidence.
But that's the manifestation of the election. I'm saying that Nanado and his old gangs, the Osafumafos, the Free Akotus, the railway man, all of these people are fathers who have defeated the purpose of believing that old politicians are the one who can run systems the better. He Nanado himself, at his age, where we believe that he wouldn't steal money. He was old. He did the reverse.
Did he steal your money?
He supervised robbery of this nation, leeching of this nation by his age groups. So having left this legacy on old age... Do you
have a problem with old people?
By what I have experienced under Nanado's regime. Look at narcotics. Narcotics Control Board was occupied by Mr. Tokuno, all right, the Chief Justice's husband, if I'm right, all old men. 8 years, you couldn't hear of any arrest of drugs.
Are you sure?
Tell me.
You are in power, you are in government. These claims you are making, these are all fact-checkable.
The claims are that in the last 6 months, there have been a Rambo-style battle against illicit drugs.
The counter-argument would be that because they thought that your government is more softer with that, so it's happening, and that those times they were tougher and the thing was not even happening. But in your case, it is happening.
I think that this is the most reliable, from national security to institutional setup, that have ever happened to this country, where you publicly, we are dealing with crime head on. We have tamed crime to a containment to national peace and national security. And so if Nanado have done that, I really don't think that we should be scared of the MPP. Canada Japan is above 60. Baumia is above 60. I don't think the generation is prepared for any candidate who is more than 60 years or 70 years.
So the young ones in MPP you think would win?
I think that the younger ones are there. NDC will have young
Which
people.
means you to your party, you go for younger people?
On any day, I would believe that the party's candidature should appeal to the youth of this country.
Talking about NACOC, which you mentioned, my attention has just been drawn to the fact that the Mr. Tokono you talked about was put there under the NDC administration at NACOC.
He was put there under the NDC. I don't know about that, but I say in the last 8 years.
Yeah, but so why are you blaming someone you have put there for?
I am not blaming him. I'm mentioning the football players of Nanado.
Yeah, but you left that player for Nanado.
You say?
Your government left that player for Nanado.
No problem, but I'm saying
so you take the blame then for if he was incompetent, it was you.
If MPP comes to power and leaves me in office, and my role was, one that there was concealment of what I call crime, then of course the public have a right to be concerned. And I'm saying that Nanado have left a very bad legacy for old age in governance. And I have traditionally believed that if you are 70 years and you can't serve public service, why should you become a young man in politics?
So a cap on appointments into public service?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you were old in government, public service, and you cannot serve public service any longer, and some of them say, oh, we are weak, we are tired, we have served the nation, why do you suddenly become a young man in politics?
Going into your NDC primaries,
yes,
can I have a commitment from you that if your party elects anybody older than age 60, you will not campaign for that person to be
It's
president?
not a straitjacket conversation.
Suddenly it's not?
No, I'm saying that it's not a straitjacket conversation because the NDC is in government. And what we are faced with is to build confidence to deliver on our promises, a stable government, a government that is not victimizing people. So far, our government is the youngest in the history of this country.
What do you mean by the youngest?
In terms of appointees, President Mahama have appointed young people, relatively young people. I've mentioned Malik. Look at the wonderful thing he's doing. Look at Sami Jemfi, the youngest. Look at what he did for this country. Go to MP, Edujita Maklo, young guy. Look at what he's doing. Look at the ministers, young people. So far in 6 months, they have demonstrated a lot of commitment to making this nation stable. Go to national security. The youngest national security coordinator is a 7 police officer there. Look at what is going on. Fighting crime, ensuring that there's relative stability in our country. Okay? Go to other sectors of the economy.
Mustapha, they say you are arresting MP people unnecessarily and locking them up. The former head of Buffer Stock has been in custody for more than 10 days. They say they brought the bail conditions, they met everything, but still you're not allowing him to go. Why are you doing that to your friends from the other side?
We are not Nanado's government. Nanado is the only government where Paul Afoko's brother was even released from jail, and they kept him in there for years without... Look, if you know President Mahama well, it's about national consensus. That's what he represents. It's about all
people are being arrested and detained under. We saw what happened to Chairman Wuntumi. Now we are seeing what's happening to Hanan.
And again, don't take President Mahama's regime for granted. It's a regime of responsibility and accountability, and he says that to all of us any day. If you go and you touch what you are not supposed to touch, President Mahama would not know you. You will be sacrificed. And so if you were put into public space and you generated the appetite of cheating the ordinary Ghanaian, and you have a question to answer, you will answer that question fully. There's no going to be any sympathy or whatsoever. Much as I don't want to go into the matters under investigation or whatever is happening at Yoko, I may not know into the full details of it. I don't know why he's still there, whether he's met his bail condition, but I certainly believe that there would be a possible and probable cause why he's still battling a release. I think that they should engage and get that. You don't want an executive that interferes in investigations and interfere in what the nation stand by. We won this election at the back of a promise of recovery because we believe that so much have been taken from this country.
And that's what you're working on. So in light of that, and talking about people who are prosecuted, arrested, convicted, Nana Agrada is also another running issue I just wanted your comment on. There are people who are saying President Mahama should pardon her. There are also people who are saying, no, you conspire to lock her up.
She's not a threat to the NDC. She has never been a threat to the NDC. In fact,
she exposed an appointee of government by saying that she was giving dollars by that.
No, she didn't. I don't think that it was... I don't think from where I sit, she had any intention to cause pain or hurt to my brother Sami Jemfi. It was an issue of an uninformed handling of a gesture to you, to somebody. And it went bad and the public reacted.
Do you think she should be pardoned?
I don't reason for the president. I
mean, what's your view? There are calls for her to be pardoned.
No, because my president is the one who exercises that constitutional right. I should not be speaking to who he should pardon and who should not be pardoned. Okay. It lies in his wisdom, it lies in his reflective strategy in governing the country to do so. And I am here to always support what the president does. Okay. And ensure that we communicate that, we enforce that to our party base, okay, and for understanding to happen. Who the president decides to pardon. But I just want to tell you that where we stand as a party, nobody is on our wanted list. The NDC is not in government to declare a section of our society wanted. But the NDC is in government to certainly go after persons who have done something wrong to this country. That one, I can assure you that it doesn't matter what it takes, that enforcement would be done.
Okay, let me take a break. This is Face to Face on Channel 1 TV. We'll come back. Ablekuma North. The Electoral Commission has announced a rerun in 19 polling stations. The NPP says it should be 3. Now, the NPP members appear to be joining the NDC in demanding for the EC officers to be removed. I'll ask Mustapha Gbande what the position of the NDC on Ablekuma North is. Please stay with us.
In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensah.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensah.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together.
You're welcome back. This face-to-face on Channel 1 TV. Mustapha, I think you have a by-election, not a by-election, a rerun happening in Ablekuma North this Friday. Have you started campaigning?
I think that, and I've said this before with you, NDC is always prepared for any election, any day, because we have standby teams that are always ready for an election. The verdict will be left to the people. And I do know that the Ablekuma North issue was one that should not have happened in the first place. If we had a readily competent electoral commission, we shouldn't have go there and, come to this level. And so the contemplation of the people have always been to get a credible representative as a member of parliament in that constituency. Our candidate doesn't have any record of public trust. Our candidate have acquitted herself, much more competent. If you look at that constituency, traditionally, MPP have won there a couple of times. So one would assume that is an MPP area. If our candidate was not a strong one or was not loved by the people, she wouldn't even win the election more or less to have contention. What that presupposes is that the people contemplate on electing Rabina Obeng as a member of parliament. On the other hand, the candidate that is representing the MPP, I believe that have not demonstrated a lot of competence, even in her own campaign, where they believe that Ablekuma North is a theater for dancing. That is how to pull crowd. Let's go and dance, let's go and share money, and the people will vote for us. Again, she is a character that is under public questionability now because of her role when she was an ambassador. I think to China also. Her activities there, including some allegations of having involved in visa issues, extortion, and all of that. This record cannot take a person to parliament. The MPP have tried to use cruel manner of ways to impose her, but the system have rejected, that imposition. That is why we are where we're going. So Friday, should the election come on, will just be an addition to the number of seats that we have in parliament.
Are you campaigning, or you are hopeful that they will vote?
We will win that election. If you look at what this government have been, people are sleeping well.
I don't think NDC has ever won that seat.
Yes, but it will be, I don't have the history, but as far as I'm concerned, this election will be won by the NDC.
I've heard the MPP people say that you were losing that seat and you decided to cause mayhem, violence, thuggery, burn ballot papers and all of that, and all the documents that are relevant, only for you not to be calling for a rerun. The EC had said the rerun will happen in 3 polling stations, which is what the MPP is asking for. Now it has gone to 19. There's a claim by some MPP members that the NDC is doing the bidding of your party.
We've never wanted an EC of J. Mensah to do our bidding, because
you've always had a fight with her.
No, we don't have. We feel that, one, she's a misfit to that office. 2, we feel that she doesn't give the level of reliability and trust that the public expect in electoral commission.
But now she's saying something that makes you happy. Does it make her fit?
Her administration have been run cross, full of controversy and lack of trust. It doesn't matter whether it is the NDC or the MPP. An electoral commission should be trusted by the people, should be able to build consensus and trust from the public who are going to cast their vote. Ghanaians do not trust that if I'm contesting an election with you and Jane Mensah is present, she can demonstrate competence of organizing a transparent, free and fair election.
The woman who organized the election that has produced your candidate as the president.
There was no other option, because we knew that they were not on one side, they were not in the middle, they were on one side. The handling of election materials, what do they call the kits, the
biometric
BVDs and BVRs, finding them placed in people's hands and all of this showed clearly irresponsible management of election materials. The way they have gone about the anticipating appointment of commissioners shows partisan elements within the commission. The way they have handled themselves, even to the extent that today we are still having, a backlog of assembly elections that we haven't finished. Do you think that Jane Mensah and her board are competent to be allowed to lead an election as crucial as 2028?
The Electoral Commission is made up of the chairman, 2 deputies, and 4 commissioners, making them 7.
Collateral responsibility.
Are you saying that all 7 must go?
I'm saying that collateral responsibility must lie somewhere.
So you have a problem with all the 7?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the commission, as it stands today, I don't think can organize an election without controversy. And it only took the grace of God and the preparedness of the NDC to ensure that we didn't go into conflict and casualties in 2024.
So you still think that Jane Mensah should not remain EC boss?
Why should she remain as EC boss?
And her deputies?
That would be unfair to the people of this country.
Her deputies should also go?
I do not know that, but I certainly believe that somebody must take responsibility, and she is the first.
How about Tete, who your party promoted in the past?
I'm not here to mention names. I'm saying that the current setup of the Electoral Commission is a misfit. It doesn't fit for purpose of election. They cannot organize elections if the political parties do not show restraint. And this one, we have to commend both NDC and MPP for demonstrating restraint, because in the midst of the incompetence handling of things within the Electoral Commission, political parties have always had their limitations, and that should not be the case.
So on this Friday, you don't trust the EC to organize a proper election?
We are not going into any election, just as we went into 2024, not believing the EC, but we worked hard, at the back of hard work. And now, look, the toilets that Bawumia said they have built, would we find some in Ablekuma North? No, we can't find some. The roads they said they have built, would we find some there? We can't find some. The 1 district, 1 factory, would we find some there? We would not find some. I know 1 village, 1 dam cannot be done there. Now, if they are in opposition and still shouting that they were better in government, we should see the manifestation of same in Ablekuma North. We will not find any. Today, the people will tell you there's a new government in place. The government is not an enterprise of a tribalistic cult that will engage in undermining this country. Ghanaians will testify that President Mahama have stabilized this country relatively in terms of economy, even in terms of our social setting. He has stabilized the country. In terms of proper governance and accountability, they will tell you that instead of what we had in 2017, where, the MPP, people in government, were destroying people's business and etc. Today, people in government are rather going after people who have been alleged to have done some wrong against the country. It's the opposite. Now, if you even look at real life, where prices of goods and services in the last 8 years, no Ghanaian in this country have seen price reduction even in water, pure water. But today, there are indicators that shows that a bag of rice that was sold at 850 in 2024, today is at 550. And the market women will attest to that. In as much as money is not in the pocket of Ghanaians, this is a government that is stabilizing our fiscal position.
So you think the rerun on Friday is going to be an assessment of the performance of your government?
I don't even know. I don't even think that, no, but even if they assess, we believe that it will sit positively because we are a positive government.
Okay.
The MPP is not even prepared for elections.
There's an injunction application that they have filed, which means they don't want the election, and they say that it is irregular.
The injunction wasn't against the NDC, so we will continue and prepare ourselves for that election. Every election is an election for us. That my colleagues have lost leadership direction. They have lost stability of their party. And so I tend to think that they are not ready for an election. So they must look for excuses to want it to look as if the commission is in bed with anybody to try and, win a seat. But that is not amounting to rigging. Okay. Rigging is who will vote on the ground and how those votes get counted. So let's go and vote. Even if it was an MPP stronghold, let's still go and vote. Let them count and see. If they believe that our government is not what Ghanaians want, it will manifest in that election. Why are they running away and trying to paint a non-existing picture?
Let's end it here. Thank you so much for speaking to us on Face to Face.
I can't be grateful enough.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It is good to see you. And I just say that I cannot underestimate the manifestation of good governance if I don't say you are looking handsome.
Let's leave it here. Now that you are saying too many handsome. I'm worried for you.
When you go back, it is for you and I to say that President Mahama's government is a good one.
This has been Face to Face with Mustapha Gbande. He is the NDC representative at the Jubilee House. He's Deputy General Secretary and also Deputy Director of Operations here at Jubilee House. I am Umaru Sanda Amadu. Thank you so much for watching.